YouTube, what's going on? It's Post Up Live. I'm here with another video for you guys. Well, before I get started, I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody who holds me down, likes the video, drops a comment, whatever. It doesn't really matter whether it's good or bad. Just the fact that people are watching the videos and engaging with the content, I just really appreciate it. But to get started, community day has passed. The embargo has lifted, and now we got some real information about 2K26. The first to start off the dribbling. I can't lie, the dribbling looks pretty damn good. In my opinion, I think it's probably there's I see a lot of good with it, and as long as it stays fluent and 2K doesn't really just put any parachutes on your dribbling, I think the dribbling is decent enough. I think, over the years I've learned that no matter what the system, 2K is going to do 2K, so you got to make the adjustments if the dribbling is good or whether it's bad. But in my opinion, as right now, dribbling is pretty good, so I have nothing to complain about with that. It looks pretty damn solid, I can't lie. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is the shooting for 2K26. So Joe Noah sat down with Mike Wang, and they kind of had a one-on-one conversation about a couple of things, and in the conversation they talked about shooting, and also when you look at these videos, you see that rhythm shooting is in the game still, and 2K has kind of made it so that rhythm shooting doesn't have an advantage like how it used to have this year. This year, you get a crazy boost for using rhythm shooting, which means that it pretty much makes no sense to use the X button. And honestly, they say that rhythm shooting is harder, but it's honestly really no skill gap with the rhythm shooting. Once you figure it, once you learn it, it's not hard at all. I rhythm shoot every single shot, and I strictly only do it because the window for the X is so small in comparison. You could physically feel it, and so I just rather rhythm shoot, and it makes it easier overall. I don't understand. I don't understand how some people use the X button, because this year you get penalized so much for using the X button that it just doesn't really make sense to use it. So I always been rhythm shooting since the game came out. I figured out that the rhythm shooting was the way to go, and I guess people are kind of upset about it because you only have to agree in the tempo, you don't have to agree in the release. And I guess to Mike Wayne's defense, and I've been watching a lot of Badge Plug, and he's been kind of explaining it, that in a lot of ways this makes sense. If they're going to balance the game out and make it so that rhythm shooting and the X button are going to be equivalent, rhythm shooting, the way that it's designed, it takes two inputs. It takes when you hold the right stick down and when you flick it up. So you'll have to, in theory, you'll have to green two things in order to make the shot as of 2K25, which is why they give you that bonus for making the shot. But if they remove that bonus, then there's no incentive to have someone use the rhythm shooting and have to green two motions instead of just greening the shot with that. Instead of just greening one input on the X button, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained it well. But so that's why they're only going to use one or the other for the rhythm shooting, which might still be cracked. I don't know. We're going to see. In my opinion, honestly, this rhythm shooting seems so forced, and I don't understand why 2K even really came up with it. I feel like they thought it was a good idea, and now they just had to stick with it because they force everybody to learn it. Maybe next year they'll get rid of it. And in the past, they've used stuff similar, I don't know if it was 2K18 or 2K17, where they had the shot aiming, where you can aim your shot, and if you line up the aim perfect, you don't even have to time the release. They've done stuff in the past where they've implemented it and then they just straight up removed it. So I don't see why it would be a big deal for 2K if they just scrapped the rhythm shooting. But as of 2K26, rhythm shooting is still in the game, so I guess it'll be up to you guys whether you want to use it or not. But they said the X button shooting should be improved, and you'll have the equivalent ability to score with the X button versus the rhythm shooting, which I appreciate a lot. And I guess the next topic to discuss are the some of the builds that people are making. First of all, in 2K25, there's roughly around 300 something different archetype build names that you could have. Whereas in 2K26, they said there's like thousands of names that you could have. Like, I've seen some crazy builds, I've seen some crazy names, and on top of that, they're saying, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but you're able to make a 7-4 for the first time this year, which is pretty interesting. And I don't really see the need for it, but what's also interesting this year is that 7-footers can have a 83 ball, and you can dribble on 7-footers this year. So it's gonna be like 7-footers. You could get, depending, I forgot what the height is, but up to a certain height, I think it's 7'1", you're able to get like a shooting takeover that traditionally was only able to be equipped by guards. So I think shooting big men are back in a real way, and it's going to be really crazy. And on top of that, they've also discussed max plus ones and max plus twos. So they're giving you max plus ones and max plus twos like they did this year. They're giving you max plus twos this year instead of just only max plus ones. And it's also tier 1 and tier 2. So you have to be very strategic about how you make your build this year. And honestly, I would, for your first build for the year, I would make an evergreen build. Something that no matter what, this build can do a little bit of everything. It probably has 1 or 2 main strong points, and the other things are kind of accessories that aren't really required, but are still, it's a solid build. That's how I would recommend making your build at the beginning of the year, because it's going to be a crapshoot trying to figure out what the exact, like, try to min-max your build, which pretty much just means that you're trying to equip just enough for every individual stat that you want, because we don't know how the game is going to play out and what exact requirements you're going to need for each build. So it would just be smart to, you know, make something that's not really gonna be very, very dependent on precision as far as the stats. Something that will be very good, like, you know, driving dunk, having a high driving dunk and high finishing always works every year. Dunking is always very good. Having a decent 3-point shot, you know, every year it never hurts. If you're gonna make a center, having high rebound is pretty much universal. Stuff like that, where you just know you're gonna need a decent pass accuracy and the ball handle and all that. So that's how I would go about making a build this year, because you know, 2K they make it so complicated in order to allow people to mess up and make new builds and have to spend more money on the new builds. So like I said, you know, nobody's first build is perfect, but just being smart about how you approach it is the point. And I'm gonna post my build video when the game comes out. I have early access. I will get early access for the pre-order, and so you guys will know in real time what I'm making and what my thought process is behind the build. So that's definitely on the horizon for the end of the week. Actually, it's 5 days away, which is crazy. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is defense. So along in that Mike Wang interview with Joe Knows, he talked about how they removed the canned pluck animation for the defense. And I just don't know how I feel about it. Like, this year I have 99 steal, and it doesn't, like, I don't feel like I have 99 steal because I can't steal the ball, which is the whole point of having 99 steal, was be able to steal the ball. I have the highest steal stat in the game, and I still can't steal. So I just don't know how I feel about it. Ironically, I get more steals on my guard builds that have low steal rating. I guess because they're a little bit faster, I'm able to get in a little bit better of a position in order to get the steal, which is understandable. But I just feel like back in the day, 2K, there used to be a dot on the bottom of your player whenever someone would dribble, and it would go from a solid to a dotted line. and whenever you had a still window, you would have to press X on the dot whenever it was the dotted line, or maybe it was the other way around. Whenever it was the solid line, and so you would have that. You were able to physically see that window, so you would know when to when to go for the steal. And I just feel like removing stuff like that, I don't see like the real benefit. Like I know steals get crazy, and there needs to be a rhyme and reason on how people get steals, but to completely remove the animation and only rely on pump steals, I don't know how I feel about that. But on the contrary, if 2K improves the on-ball defense, I won't be mad as much. Like, if the on-ball defense is really good to where you can get really bumpy, I don't mind not having a high steal, because the reason why you need a high steal this year is because the defense is so bad. The only way to be consistent is to get steals, because you can't rely on your defense to get the stop. And if the defense is reliable enough, then people won't even increase the steal rating, because you'll be able to just stay in front of your defender. Stay in front of the person you're trying to guard. So I'm kind of on the fence about how the steal rating, like how I feel about 2K removing the can't steal animation. But I guess we'll see in real time. There's a couple of people who have voiced their opinion and said that they recommend to have the animations brought back. And some people are like, nah, let's just let the game play out and see how it goes. And then if there's really needs to be a change, then we can make that change, in the future. But let's just leave the game as it is in month 1, which I agree with. We should leave the game, don't patch anything. Let us get our hands on it first, get acclimated, and then down the line, maybe month 1 or 2, once we figure out what really needs to be fixed, we could address that. And we also don't know how adrenaline affects your dribbling, because as of right now, everybody is looking cracked when they dribble the ball, but they have unlimited stamina, and they have certain animation, so we don't know how it's gonna play out comes game day. And I think it was Cole the Man, he explains that after three size up moves, so 3 hezzy left, hezzy right, hezzy left, after that third one, that's when you lose the adrenaline bar. So it's gonna be real interesting how this game gets played out. There's a couple of other things, like they have go-to shots for centers. That's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see how that works. I feel like 2K always caters to big men, even though nobody really even likes to use big men, but they cater. And we'll see how it goes. We're taking it in a flow, we're taking it in a stride, and the game comes out in 5 days, guys. So I'm really excited to get my hands on it and to really put in that work, put in that pain. I'm still trying to figure out what build I'm going to make. I'm not really sure as of right now what build I'm going to make. I'm kind of on the fence between a shooter, a slasher, or a playmaking shot or something like that. I'm kind of on the fence. Every year I also make like a KD LeBron build, and every year I also make a locked build. So that's a lot. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna go about it. And I have a feeling that I want to be a shooter, have a sharp shooting build, and help you guys shoot the ball more consistently. But then again, maybe I want to be a slasher and be slasher gang this year, because in my heart, I'm really a slasher that learned how to shoot really well. So I'm not really sure, but whenever I get my hands on the game, guys, you'll know all the stuff that I'm doing and how the build, wingspan, ratings, weight, height, all that stuff. You guys will know as soon as I make the build and upload the video. So that's some of the 2K news that's been going on this weekend. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for holding me down. If you guys reached this long in the video, I super appreciate you guys. Leave a like on the video, comment, Tell me how you feel about the game. Tell me if you're excited. Send me your gamer tag if you're trying to link or you're trying to hoop. I hoop with subscribers all the time. I need some people to run with. Just don't be bad. And yeah, just hold me down. It's Post Up Live, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.